Hello and welcome to my day 5 update for the Hellenic Mountain Race. The big news today is we have a winner. So as you can see, ADRIEN LIECHTI took the win. 4 days, 12 hours and 8 minutes. I think it's fair to say it's a lot slower than a lot of people anticipated. This was supposed to be the short race and the easy race of Nelson's 3 races, but it's turned out to be just as tough as the others. I think most riders were expecting, or most of the sort of top 10 were probably expecting to go substantially under 4 days, maybe even closer to 2, but conditions didn't allow. And as you can see by the state of his bike, it has been muddy and horrific pretty much the whole time. So huge congratulations to ADRIEN. It's thoroughly deserved. He's been close on a lot of occasions to a big win, but he's finally got it. So well done, ADRIEN. And let's just have a look at the map and just see that ADRIEN is down at the finish. Manu Trucolo, he is also finished, so he took second in the end, and Tanguy Ramseur and Max Rice, they're looking pretty close together actually. Tanguy was locked in with Manuel for most of yesterday, but I was reading that he's had a few issues with tyres, potentially losing pressure, so not exactly sure what's gone on there, but it's obviously slowed him up a fair bit, and Manuel is sort of made the break and got away. So 2 really strong finishes there, and Max has had a really strong finish too, so it's going to be interesting to see if Max can overtake Tanguy as they run into the finish. Looks like they're on this final climb here, then a big descent down, so I guess if Tanguy has had some tyre issues, then he might have to take it easier on the descent. Still plenty to look at in this race. While we're looking at the men's field, I just want to give a big shout out to Marin de Saint-Exupéry. So if you remember, he had a cut tyre on the first, I think it's like within the first 100k of the race. He was forced to stop. He waited 36 hours, was dead last, and he's climbed all the way up to 7th position. Whether he can close in any higher than that, it's going to be a tough ask, but I mean that is a hell of a ride. And it's fair to say he would have been right up at the point end of the race had he not had stopped for those 36 hours. So yeah, I mean, I guess he's ruining the decision to run really light tyres, but there we go, you make your own luck sometimes. Over to the women's race. So no real changes here. So Quinda is still leading. It looks like she's eked out a little bit, but it's not a massive gap in the grand scheme of things. Katie Jane's still there, chugging away. So it looks like there's kind of a climb between them if you look at this map down the bottom. But you know, they're still over 200k to the finish, 230 or k to the finish. Plenty can happen, and we're going to have another night now as well, so that's going to be interesting to look at. I suspect we will have a women's winner tomorrow. But who will it be? Going to be interesting to see. And just a massive shout out, 20th out of everyone for Quinda, 24th for Katie Jane, showing a lot of the men how it's done. I think it's fair to say, I always say this, that the women are very, very strong and very consistent, and when the conditions get really tough, they tend to do better. So big shout out, and keep it going. Looking forward to seeing that battle develop tomorrow. So let's have a quick look just to see what's going on the Hellenic Mountain Race Instagram channel. Most days there's been a lot of people complaining about the mud and the rain, but as they've been getting further south, it looks like it is drying up a little bit. There are some tarmac roads by the look of things, and yeah, look, everyone's happy now. This is what I think everyone's expected for the vast majority of the route, and I think the weather obviously, you know, made things slightly tougher, but it looks pretty cool. I mean, bad weather is quite spectacular sometimes when you're up in the clouds, and that looks pretty amazing. Although I imagine if it's tipping it down with rain, not so much. And yeah, this must be the checkpoint. Everyone's pretty happy to be there by the looks of it. And yeah, the race for the podium, as we talked about. So who's going to be third? And yeah, this is Sofian's account. Really pleased for ADRIEN. And Sofian, I've spoke to him the last few days, and he's back home in Paris now. Seems like his bite wound is healing up pretty quickly, so we could see him back at the Highland Trail in a few weeks' time. So I should be racing him there, which will be great. So yeah, give Adrian a follow on Instagram. Give the Hellenic Mountain Race a follow on Instagram. And yeah, that's pretty much all I've got for you today. So we'll see how the women's race progresses tomorrow. That's going to be interesting to see. And yeah, as usual, if you're liking this kind of content, drop us a comment, any questions, and like and subscribe. And I'll have some more racing coming up, including the Tour Divide and the Transcontinental race. So I'll see you tomorrow, and hopefully we can round out the podium and the women's race.